everyone, it's Maki here. It's just a month and a few days until the release of the movie Gundam Seed Freedom. The other day, a new promotional video was also released and expectations are rising. In the latest footage, there was something intriguing mentioned in the words of Astranzar. Harisat's theme is to create a race beyond the coordinators. It's a topic that's sparking discussions among fans. The person referred to as she is likely to be Oroma Hahabor. She is the queen of the antagonistic organization known as the Foundation. This time, let's try to understand what it means to go beyond the coordinators by analyzing past works. In the promotional video, there appear to be scenes related to the Destiny Plan. Let's take a look at works that deal with genetic manipulation analysis and the Destiny Plan. Within the spin-off series, called the Astray series, there is an episode titled Princess of the Sky. Previously, I analyzed the element of the perfect Destiny Plan on my show. This work features a character named Fairness Spiker, who attempts to execute a new Destiny Plan. Fairness possesses the genetic predisposition of a strong aptitude as a ruler within his genes. He has the ability to manage society and lead it towards peace. He enjoys considerable popularity among the masses and is an exceptionally capable individual. However, he doesn't find the idea of becoming a ruler appealing. He holds negative feelings toward the act of becoming a ruler, seeing it as being bound by his genes. One of his strengths lies in the fact that he lacks the desire to dominate others, which makes it less likely for him to engage in acts such as exclusion based on discriminatory feelings or endangering others for his own benefit. In the story, Fairness, who is willing to sacrifice himself for the world, gives up the hope of living freely. This raises doubts in the mind of Los Winslet. Ultimately, Fairness and Los engage in combat with mobile suits, and Fairness emerges victorious. However, this victory is a remarkable one for Fairness. Despite giving his all in the battle, Fairness loses more than half of his mobile suit due to Los's attacks. At this point, his calm judgment of the situation had already accepted defeat. However, his spirit of passionately competing in mobile suits and loving the pursuit of technical prowess had not accepted defeat. He continues to resist in his battered mobile suit, launching attacks in pursuit of victory. Fairness's attack is blocked by Rono Mina Sahako. If it weren't for Mina's intervention, Fairness would have won. More than the fact that his attack was blocked, Fairness is astonished by the phenomenon of achieving victory after being convinced of defeat through reason. Los Winslet believed that the flaw in Fairness's Destiny Plan was neglecting Fairness's own happiness. In this battle, the flaws of the Destiny Plan itself are also exposed, as Kira Yamato had noticed in his battle with Gilbert Giuliano. Setting the direction of life through genetic analysis does not create conflict. However, it also does not lead to evolution. This is the conclusion that Kira Yamato and others reached. Fairness had accepted defeat through logical thinking in his battle with Los. However, driven by the passion of not wanting to lose in mobile suit combat, he sought victory. Fairness loved the design and piloting of mobile suits, but admitted there is no such aptitude in my genes. Elements not contained in genetic information brought about a miracle. Without the passion within Fairness, the miracle would not have happened. This battle presents the future of the Destiny Plan. What would happen if humanity were exposed to some great threat There will be situations where we face unknown pathogens or large-scale disasters eventually. Humanity, in a state where it can only execute responses based on genetic information, is highly likely to perish. By not being bound by genetic information, the possibility of overcoming crises through the presence of a diverse group of people, challenging various possibilities increases. Fantasy's victory over loss was due to the passion not present in genetic information. In the real world, events have occurred where phenomena that were logically deemed impossible by many have been achieved. Developments in aviation, human expansion into space, and victories over pathogens among others have advanced humanity by overcoming what was considered impossible through passion and pursuit. The Destiny plan has a high probability of closing all such possibilities, especially if it adopts an attitude like that of Chairman Durano, as in if they do not accept, then they must be destroyed. That probability increases. In fact, in the Seed series novels, a similar possibility is discussed. Seiji Takeda, who was responsible for creating the setting and introduced the element of coordinators, had this to say: coordinators have an extremely high resistance to diseases. However, this resistance is limited to known diseases, and it's uncertain how they would fare against unknown diseases. Strengthening their resistance to known diseases has led to a significant commonality in the genetic information of coordinators, resulting in a loss of biological diversity. In the real world, there exists a trait called sickle cell anemia. It causes anemia under normal circumstances and is disliked by people. However, sickle cell anemia provides strong resistance to malaria. What would happen if a group that completely eliminated sickle cell anemia faced malaria? Coordinators are a race that carries such risks. In Seed Destiny, there was a scene where Stellar Loser, an extended, couldn't be treated. The medical crew deployed on the battleship maneuver stated that it was difficult to treat. The maneuver is a state-of-the-art battleship equipped with the latest soft mobile suits. The personnel on board are likely to be among the top talents from the plants. Although it was a very brief moment, it depicted the reality of helpless coordinators when dealing with patients in an unknown condition. Thus, the weakness of coordinators lies in their vulnerability to unknown entities, and their heavy reliance on genetic information has limited the potential for evolution. Even Fairness, with an exceptionally brilliant mind, could not break free from the constraints of genetic information without interaction with Loss and his companions. In the Seed story, Siegel Klein speaks this way about Patrick's coordinators are by no means an evolved species. In the Seed series, it is discussed that the weakness of coordinators lies in their inability to evolve. Going beyond the coordinators would mean a race that overcomes this weakness. There is a possibility that the new race that Uramaka Haber aspired to become is a species capable of evolving and adapting when encountering unknown entities. Similar beings have appeared in past Gundam series, such as the Elves in Gundam 00. They are metallic life forms that incorporated and evolved by assimilating people from their sphere, adopting human bodies and mobile suits, thus evolving. The people of the Foundation are depicted as beings in human form. Are they truly human? The Gundam series has gradually incorporated new elements and evolved. Beyond the elves mentioned earlier, the Build series introduced new races born within cyberspace. The Seed series might also carry the mission of introducing innovative elements into the Gundam series. There is a possibility of the emergence of beings who seek to discard their human form. This is yet an explored element in the Gundam series. Beings with superhuman physical abilities have appeared, but they have retained their human form. In genres outside the Gundam series, there is the example of Gargantua on the Borderless planet, a mecha anywhere race that discarded its human form to adapt to space, is featured. Furthermore, the mobile suits in the Gundam series have the element of enhanced human bodies for human adaptation to space, a concept similar to the technology of the Gundam Witch from Mercury. Mobile suits that extend the human body like clothing. In contrast, there is the concept of transformation of the human body itself, which can be seen as evolution, depending on interpretation. It may be said that the new race, beyond coordinators, is one that retains the potential for evolution that has been lost. Of course, these are just examples of my personal interpretations. What do you all think a race beyond coordinators might be? There is also the possibility of being a race with simply astonishing physical abilities or intelligence. If they were to appear as formidable adversaries, this portrayal would be more straightforward. Are the people of the Black Knight Squad beings who have discarded their humanity? Or are they a new kind with abilities surpassing traditional humans? There are still many mysteries hidden within the world of the story.